your brand image is bad, you are in the 1980s still. I understand, and you're gonna be cringe. No one really watched my videos. Yeah, that was a wild experience. Hi and welcome back. In today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about my social media experience, ups and downs. I'm going to try to make this as structured as possible. It is pretty late, it is 11:30 p.m. I'm a little behind with my Vlogmas episodes. I wasn't able to post 2 episodes till now, so that's why I'm trying to make now more talking videos because they are a little easier to shoot. So I hope you still like also this kind of content. In case you have any other ideas which you want me to talk about, please share with me in the comment section. But now let's just start the video. In case you don't know me, my name is Cinci. I'm a flutist. I'm 27 years old and I started my social media journey back in 2023 on Instagram and TikTok, and I always loved YouTube. I always tried to be as active as possible also on YouTube, but it's just hard because I have high expectations from myself and it's not easy to make content next to my jobs, or it wasn't easy to do content next to my jobs, the content I like, not just to post something. So I just started basically posting vlog videos in 2023 November, and I got pretty viral in a few months actually. I think I had a few hundred followers back in October 2023. Then, as I mentioned, I started posting constantly in November, and I reached, I think, 25,000 followers in 6 months, which is crazy, I know, and I still cannot believe that basically. I also need to mention Instagram was a little different at that time, even though I'm just talking about 2 years difference, but still, like, everything has changed. The algorithm and its system is not the same at all. The creators are not the same at all, and I think that's why also many things has changed. Also, I changed. My attitude has changed a little bit. I think you can also see that on my content actually. I am still the same person, but I just changed many things, and also my content with these as well. In last year's Vlogmas series, I've done one video about my whole journey, how I started being an influencer, how I started earning money with that, and about my social media manager journey and so on. So I think I will save your time now, and I'm just going to link that video here somewhere also, and also in the description box, so in case you would like to watch that first, because that helps you to get a better picture basically about my journey, just watch that there. But otherwise, now I'm going to talk about more experiencing stuff, so just make your coffee and just listen it as if it would be a podcast episode. So I was mostly teaching next to the social media journey, and I need to tell you that most of my colleagues had no idea about what I am doing. Also in that schools where I have been teaching at, most of my colleagues were like 45, 50 plus, which means they know what Instagram is, but TikTok not really. And anyway, they would have not really understand that it's possible to make a career or like anything about social media basically, which is not only for fun, you know. So that means I have done mostly everything by myself. Not really many people know about who I was. I mean, that I was doing social media, let's form like that. It was always funny when some people discovered me in the school, mostly students or like very young teachers. They were like, what, you are that girl who is posting those videos? And I'm like, yes, that's me. Which is also funny because I'm doing my content in English, obviously, so that many people can understand it and I reach a brighter audience. I used to live in Austria, now I'm living in Germany, but it's not very far from each other, so that's why it was not really something that I reached those people as well in those small villages, because I wasn't teaching in Vienna, I was teaching mostly in small towns. I guess that was also one of the reasons why many people did not know about my alter ego, if I can form it like that. But yeah, that was also kind of fun, because I hear that many people usually talks about, like, when someone asks me, how should I start with social media? I'm so afraid that I'm gonna be cringe or something. I understand, and you're gonna be cringe, and you need to switch your attitude about that, because if you all the time thinking about yourself, what people are gonna think about you, you're never gonna stop. This I can tell you already. And I also can say my situation was a little different because, as I said, no one really watched my videos from my environment, so people did not really know what I'm doing next to my teaching jobs. So for me it was kind of, I don't care. I also don't feel any cringeness because people who are watching my videos were mostly in the US at that time, or some also from Europe and also from Asia, but mostly from the US, so they did not see me every day. Yeah, so it was kind of easier for me to post as much as possible. Obviously, I have also bad experience when people have recognized me in those schools where I was working at. The most horrific thing was in my previous school, because I also need to tell you, so I was starting, as I said, in 2023, November. At that time I was teaching in a music school, but as I said, I did not have such a big audience, you know. I had that contract until February 2024, and that means in February I was not going that viral at the moment. So I had, I think, like 9,000 followers or 8 or something like that. And on TikTok, maybe a few thousand, so not really a lot. So I guess that was also the reason why my colleagues had not such a big chance to see my videos. After that, I went content creation full-time. So I started working with Woodify together. I started having my sponsorships and everything. So I started working on myself as a flutist, as a influencer, as a content creator, because I was also doing UGC and many things. As I said, watch that video, the other one, because in case you don't know this kind of stuff, I'm explaining that very well in that video. Other than that, as I said, after that I was mostly home, so I had again no chance to be or to have those experiences, to collect those experiences when people had weird talks with me. I think the first time when I felt a little weird, it was not bad, it was also not good, it was just weird. I got a job in 2024 October, so September, when the school year started. One of my colleagues, he's doing all brass instruments. Yeah, we had our first meeting in the beginning of the year, and he was like, yeah, I actually know who you are. I watched all of your videos and you're doing an amazing job. And so it was actually a good experience, but I was like, what? That was the very first time someone recognized me in my job era. It was like, what? And he was also 50 plus and a pianist and a German, so it was weird, but it was still fine. And he always said like, yeah, you are doing an amazing job, and every time we met he was very nice to me. But then I also started working in another school at the same time, and the other school was not a music school, it was a normal school in which I was teaching music. And yeah, that was a wild experience. Also, maybe some of my previous students are here, in case you are here. Hi to all of you. I was still feeling kind of new in the school, because I also need to tell you that like I was the only one from that school in the teacher circle who was not really a teacher. I mean, I am a teacher, but I am specifically trained to teach the flute and not to music or something. But obviously I am more than good with music, and that's why I am able to teach music. And so I felt anyway always a little weird with those kind of circles, because I felt like I'm not belonging there. One day, one of my colleagues, I was doing my coffee, or I don't know what we were doing, something like that, in the kitchen. And she was like, yeah, Cinci, how are you? Is everything fine? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. They were just asking like how the school is going on. Because as I said, the school started only a few weeks before that. So that's why they were nice to ask me like, how are you? And is everything fine? Do you need any help? And I said like, I'm very tired, because suddenly from full-time content creation, I was still full-time content creating, but on the same time, I also started having a full-time teaching job. I mean, I was teaching in two schools, but both schools were together almost full-time. And I said, I'm very tired. I was also preparing myself for a competition that time, so it was crazy. She was like, yeah, I know. I actually found you on social media and you're doing an amazing job, but it's crazy that how many things you're doing. And I'm like, and then I realized, they told me that already many people know about this kind of stuff, but no one told me anything. And I was like, it's not a big deal, don't get me wrong, but I felt weird because I always felt, anyway, a little weird on this kind of scores. And then suddenly someone comes to me and they say they know everything about me. It felt very interesting, let's say like that. But yeah, they didn't have any bad comments or something, and I liked those colleagues actually, so it was fine. But I was a little surprised, let's say like that. And then a few weeks later, I came one day to the school. You need to picture this. I'm going in the school hall. Suddenly, two full class, like, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, they started running to me. Obviously, they are really dramatic, yeah. They are at the very beginning of their teenage years. They were like, Frau Bakyash, we found you on Instagram, we found you on TikTok, blah, 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 I don't know. And I was like, I was shocked. I was like, how did they find me? Like, I mean, I'm always saying I have such a different niche, and these kids are obviously consuming very different content. But someone found me, and obviously they sent it to each other. It was on one side very weird. I felt like, oh my god, now I'm going to have always this sticker on me, on my forehead, that influencer girl who thinks it's a teacher. And then on the other side, how the kids are going to be serious with me, you know, because it was actually pretty hard. In the music school, it was always fine because that's a different version. But in normal schools, like, we all know, we were all in those kind of schools, and we all know that we behave different, especially in the beginning of puberty. So yeah, a very interesting experience again. This story is actually the one that made me realize I am not able to work there anymore in that school. Always knew that not everyone understands the world of social media. And I still thought that the directors of that school understood me and had no problem with me, because obviously I am doing good content. I encourage people to learn music, so I'm not doing anything bad. But still, some people did not like me, how it turned out at the end. And I had one festival in which I was working as a host. You probably know which one. And after that, the directors of this school started having issues with that. Don't ask me why. I guess it has already a personal reason, probably, because otherwise there is no other logical explanation for that, to be that rude. I was always teaching what I needed. I think the kids like me also. I was there as much as I could, but still it turned out not to match with the school. With, as I said already in another video, my lifestyle was not matching anymore with this kind of jobs. And yeah, they did not really like it at the very end what I do, social media, and that I am traveling a lot. As I said, it's hard to talk about because I am otherwise a very open person, and I would just tell you the way it was, but it's the internet, so I don't want to share everything. It was just very rude. And I decided that was the very end, and I'm not going to do that anymore for myself because it doesn't bring anything. It wasn't worth it. If I really want to be honest, most of my hate comments in person or on the internet, I mostly got from colleagues, from flutists, from other musicians, or as I said in that previous school, also other colleagues who, I mean, they were actually afraid to tell me like this in person, but I knew that they did not really like what I do, which is their stuff, but still they had their own opinion about that job, if I can say like that. Let's jump to the next topic, which is social media, like really, which did not happen to me in person from that jobs. I don't get actually any hate comments, or like really barely anything. Since I started doing the TikTok live streams, it sometimes happened that some very random people who has no idea about music jump into my live and they write bad things. But otherwise, really, I cannot tell you any story which happened to me under my videos because, as I said, I don't get any bad comments. Hopefully it stays like that. I posted a lot of ASMR videos in which I'm tapping with the flute. I'm actually the one who created those videos at the very beginning, and they got pretty viral. And some people felt triggered from those videos. I guess that's why they went viral. And so under that video, sometimes I got bad comments, but they were also not bad, like, girl, what are you doing, blah, who you are, blah, blah, blah. No, it was most like, what are you doing with your flute? Be careful, it's not good for your flute. So they were normal. They were just not liking the video, which is completely fine. Not everyone needs to be falling in love with my content, you know? Also, as I said, colleagues, sometimes it can happen that some people have complexes, you know, and because they have those thoughts and they see someone who is successful, they feel triggered from that. And it also happened to me, for example, when I got some flute lessons, that I got stupid comments on what I do online, like, we all know who your fans are, which means like teenagers, or I don't know what this person has thought. I also don't care, but even if they're only teenagers, like, they're the next generation. Also about my content, like, these videos are stupid, it doesn't bring anything. Yeah, because everyone is different, you know. Some people expect from Instagram and TikTok to have education content. Some people expect from Instagram and TikTok to have aesthetic content. Some people want to see ASMR videos. Some people want to see storytelling videos. So it's very different. And I personally mix up a lot of things because this is how I consume everything, and I do not want to stay always the same thing, which actually Instagram hates, because Instagram likes when you have a viral video, you need to post all the time like that stuff. I don't like doing that because it will be very boring, also for me and also for you. So I don't care about that stuff anymore, but still, I got some other comments during those lessons and during those meets. Once I was also doing a festival and I had a sponsor, okay? This sponsor was very special. I have no idea what this person really thought, but this person was more than interesting. Felt many times when I was doing content for this sponsor, it was feeling like they always wanted to tell me what to do, which is on one way normal, because obviously they pay you and they want you to represent them the way they want. But the problem is that they hire you because they see your engagement, your numbers, and you are the one who knows how those videos works and why those videos get that kind of numbers. And the other person and the other sponsors, especially in the musician world, they have no idea about how to sponsor people. Let's stop on that point. For example, I was doing sometimes videos I needed to re-edit like 5 times, and at the end I ended up doing another completely new video, which means I could actually double the price, because I was working with the first a lot. Like, these videos are not only you show the product and you talk about it. This is not the way how I do. I also play the flute, I also practice those pieces, and obviously I want to sound good because I don't add any this audio things to the recordings so that they sound really, especially when it's a sponsorship, so that they sound the way they need to sound, and it's just a mess sometimes. And I got sometimes issues with that sponsor, with that specific sponsor. We were a good team together. It was a long-term sponsorship, and you did not see everything on my page, in case you think about someone else. I'm not going to name it. You didn't see everything because I was doing also UGC for that company, but still. Also, we were once on a festival and also with the same sponsor. I didn't understand why, but many people came to me and wanted to do pictures or just wanted to get a chat with me, which is obvious. Like, I would also do that with someone who I always watch the videos, because why not, you know? They got a little annoyed from that many people were there, and they were like, yeah, you are the superstar, but please, can you do the work for us? Can you come here and can we shoot the content and this and this and this? And I'm like, yes, sure, why not, you know? Like, actually, you're paying me and to be able to sell or like to get those audience who just came there and waited to have a chat with me. I already got to the point in which I don't feel so annoyed anymore from bad comments. I'm also a person, like, I feel every negative energy and negative vibe. So in case you think something bad about me, I feel from kilometers. I know immediately, you know. I cannot say exactly what that thing is, but I just feel if you don't vibe with me together, and that freaks me out sometimes, I should change it. I'm a Leo. Leos are like that, like they're very emotional and everything, and I'm also very emotional, and if I feel that someone doesn't like me, that makes me feel weird. But I got to the point already in which I can say that I am aware of what I do, and I'm aware that not everyone likes this kind of life or like this kind of career what I do. And I'm also aware that some people are still in the oldie world and they don't think anything good about my content or like me as a flutist, and that's also totally fine. So many flutists are out there in the world, and I know that what I do is good, and it's just getting better and better and better. So as I said, I got to the point in which I can already say that I am good with myself. I was also always satisfied with everything. I was just not able to handle sometimes those kind of conversation when I had those tricky situations with other flutists, with other musicians, with my colleagues from the school. It was just stupid sometimes. But I already learned how to get those situations, and I can say already anything I do or anywhere I go, I am mostly welcome. Also, for example, when I had competitions or auditions, and in case someone recognized me, they were always like, very nice. So it is, sometimes people think like when someone thinks about content creation, like general, to start something, an online business, they're gonna be like, I feel cringe, or I'm afraid what people are going to think about me. I had also these thoughts, as I said at the beginning of this video, but still every time I go to a competition or to an audition or to somewhere where are many flutists, I'm also thinking like, okay, I should be nicer, because I don't want people to... I get sometimes comments like my face is not very nice or like kind, and people are afraid of me, or like they don't sympathize with me immediately. So I'm trying to change that, especially when we are on those kind of events. It's a very different thing, and especially in the US, like in the US it was a whole different vibe. Real, like there, I think in general the social media world there is really a thing. Here in Europe is also, but still I think most of the flute companies or companies which are about musician stuff are still in this high news level stuff, like we don't need anything like that, because anyway everyone knows about us, which is true, you know, but your brand image is bad and you are in the 1980s still, and you should recover from that. And in the US I saw this recovering and still going with the trends and everything, and which I really like, because I think that helps also students, and it encourages people to start with the music and start with the flute. I would say that was the video for today. I know it is not very informative. It was just something that I would like to share my experiences with you, because why not? And I also got some questions on that, and I thought I would mix it up a little bit. I still hope you like the video. If you have any questions, go for it in the comments. It helps anyway my algorithm. In case you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and see you in my next video. Bye.